Hi, my name is Tommy Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your Palm Springs realtor. Today, I'm gonna share with you the top 5 things you need to know before buying a home here in Palm Springs, California. All right, let's do this.
Been a little too nice for y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I woke in a bar today. Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the bars, I'm flipping the...
Before we begin, make sure to give this like button a little tap, give it a little press, it'll help this video to do so much better. And if you're interested in learning about the Palm Springs area weekly, then hit that subscribe button. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that in the Palm Springs area, it does get windy sometimes. Now, typically the windy season is from April to June, and the rest of the year it's not that bad. My number one tip for avoiding the wind is not buying along the 10 freeway. Now, the closer you are to the 10 freeway, that runs right through the Coachella Valley, basically the Palm Springs area, it will be a lot windier. But if you buy in South Palm Springs, South Palm Desert, Indian Wells, the closer you are to that mountain range in the valley, the less windy it will be. So typically, South Palm Desert, South Palm Springs, South Cathedral City, all these areas are gonna be pricier than North Palm Springs, North Palm Desert, and the reason being is the wind. And a lot of the more desirable shopping areas and that sort of thing are in the southern areas. With that being said, you could still find some really great deals if you're closer to the 10 freeway. For example, in Palm Desert, there's a community called Genesis where homes are $500,000-$600,000. I mean, you have Del Webb, a 55 plus community in Rancho Mirage. Now, here you're getting a nice single family detached home for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. If you're gonna try finding that in South Palm Springs or South Palm Desert, that same quality, that same just newness, if that's a word, it's gonna be closer to $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.3 million, just depending. So something for you to keep in mind. The second thing you need to know about buying in the Palm Springs area is that there's many HOAs. Now, HOAs are homeowner associations. Many of you might know what that is already. If not, it's totally okay. We have a lot of gated private country clubs in the valley that have HOAs, and there's a lot of just gated communities that have HOAs. My number one thing with HOAs is when you buy a home and you enter into the escrow process, usually escrow will order the HOA docs and you'll have time to review them. You have about 17 days to do your due diligence, just to look over the HOA docs, make sure you know the country club, the community you're in, it's in good financial standing, the HOA, as well as making sure the monthly or annual fees you're paying, because sometimes on the MLS, the multiple listing service that all the real estate agents use, that annual or monthly HOA fee, such as $200 a month, might be off from what the actual number is. So during the escrow process, you could check all that stuff out. If you need a good agent here in the Palm Springs area, give me a call. My contact information is below. I'd love to help you. People are calling me all the time. Now, another thing you need to know is that not all of the Palm Springs area is gated. There's a lot of great non-gated areas here. So if you're looking for those, there's plenty of those. And generally, the lower an HOA is, the less the community provides. So for example, a community that might be $100 a month for an HOA will maybe just be a gated community. But if you're spending $400, $500, $600, well then you're getting maybe a clubhouse, a fitness center, a golf course, 24-hour security. So usually the higher the HOA is per month, the higher in the community is, or the more services it provides. So keep that in mind. So there's something for everyone here. The third thing you need to know about is Indian land. Now in the Palm Springs area, we do have Indian land. Now, you're probably asking, Tommy, how does that compare to normal land? Well, you have Indian land, which is called leased land, and you have fee simple land. Fee simple land is where you actually own the land. So you buy your home for $300,000, you own the land underneath. Well, on Indian land or leased land, you actually don't own the land itself. You're leasing it. That's why they call it leased land. So in this case, the Indian or the Indian tribes or whoever, they'll actually own the land and you own the structure on top of the land. Now, the majority of the leased land is in Palm Springs. Quick backstory on that, in the 1800s, the government was laying railroad from Arizona all the way here, and the Indians were here, and they gave them every quarter mile. So in Palm Springs, you could have a neighborhood where your neighbor's house across the street or down the way is on leased land, and your home is on fee simple land where you own. Typically, fee simple homes are gonna be 30% more expensive than the leased land, because with leased land, you're paying that monthly payment every month, and that could be $200 a month, $500, $600 a month. It really depends on the desirability of the neighborhood, and I have great videos, by the way, on all of these things after you're done with this one, so you could see a video on leased land if you want more in-depth information. But keep in mind, Palm Springs, the majority of the leased land will be in, Cathedral City, Rancho Mirage as well. And once you get to Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, and just going eastward in the valley, there isn't any leased land. So if you don't want to be in leased land, but you want to be in Palm Springs, you could still find a home that's on fee simple land. It might just be a little harder, but if you move over to different areas in the valley, you won't have a problem with leased land at all. So something to keep in mind. A quick tip on leased land, you want to ask, how many years are left on the lease? Does my lender lease on leased land? Because a lot of lenders don't. So that's why it's good to use a local lender here, because they understand the process of leased land. And the third thing is, what are the annual dues for the leased land? The fourth thing you need to know is that it does get hot here. Now, that might go without saying, but a lot of people come here from, let's say, November to maybe May, because, you know, I'm filming this in February, and yesterday it was 80 degrees and I was by the pool with my family, my wife and 2 kids. Now, where else in the US could you be doing that? So, in the summertime, for about 3 months is our hot season. It can average about 107 degrees every other day. So, I tell everyone, if you're thinking about moving here year-round, make sure you at least stay for a few months during the summer to get a feel for what things are like. Now, a lot of people think if you're looking to buy a home in the summer, there's gonna be less competition because it's hot out. Things have sort of changed where the Palm Springs area is turning to a busy place, no matter if it's the season, which is the winter or spring going into spring months, or, you know, if it's just dead heat of summer, it's busy out here. So, you know, come when you want to come, but if you're going to buy a home here all year long, make sure you stay in the summer. If you're buying a home and you want to turn it into a rental property, don't worry, people are renting out their homes and they're booked for months on end during the summer. So people are still coming here, and so a lot of people enjoy the heat here because it is like a dry heat. It's not very humid like a Florida southern kind of heat, so yeah. Now, the fifth thing you need to know before buying a home here in Palm Springs, California are property taxes. You gotta pay Uncle Sam, gotta pay the local and federal government. Now, property taxes here are 1.25 of the actual purchase price. For example, you're buying a $100,000 home, well, property taxes will be $1,250 per year. In addition, some cities might have a local tax, such as Palm Springs with a utility tax, and other areas might have an assessment for the local sewer and street improvements that have gone on. If you're still watching, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and also subscribe for weekly videos to learn about the Palm Springs area. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in moving to the area, my contact information is below, and I'll see you in the next video next week.